TV Sunday. The power of truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful pleasure to welcome wonderful guests today because we are talking one of the most important issue. This is the redistricting. And today I'm here at District 26 office, which is located in Sunnyside, and tomorrow we have a hearing regarding redistricting. And I believe that this information will be the key to find out what is the redistricting and why this is very important to all of us communities that we are living in Queens. What's the concept of redistricting? Would you mind to tell something about it?
Sure. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys just a brief breakdown. Every 10 years, the Constitution requires that we have a census to count the population. What happens after that? It triggers the drawing of new district lines. So from 2010 to 2020, the New York City population grew from 8.2 million to 8.8 million. So that's roughly 673,000 additional people. This leads to new districts, not only in city level, but state and federal level.
Right.
With 51 council members, this means that the district lines need to be redrawn to have roughly about 173,000 residents per district. So it all happens because of the census, and this is from our Constitution.
Yes, this is just, the reason is increasing of population.
Yes. When there is an increase of population, the districts must be drawn to have almost equal amount of people in each district, which for 51 council districts will mean 173,000, and therefore the new drawing of the district.
Why it is important redistricting?
Redistricting is very important for communities to be aware and informed of, because redistricting kind of divides, and it also gives you the power balance. It is really important for our community people to check, know about what is redistricting, how the maps work, how it can impact our community. And especially this recently on July 15th, the Redistricting Commission has introduced and proposed a new map. But it is also important for the community people to know that the Redistricting Commission has some guidelines that the city charter requires them to follow. And we as public, it's really important to hold them accountable whether or not they follow those guidelines. Yes. So according to those guidelines, right now this proposed map does not follow those guidelines. For example, the guideline requires it's called Voting Rights Act, where the minority race and minority groups should be kept together intact. And they're violating that basic
principle.
Principle and the guideline by dividing the immigrant community, especially in Woodside, under District 26, into 4 different council offices. Council districts. That means we are already underrepresented, and we worked.
Again, we divided into different districts, means we are still in many pieces. So we cannot work together, move together, right?
And it is also very important that the Woodside is a neighborhood of all immigrants. I would say over 60% and nearly 80% it's immigrant neighborhood.
Maybe 80%.
But the maximum number of the Himalayan communities, the Nepali, the Tibetan, the Bhutanese, and of course we have the Spanish, Filipino, and other Asian groups. But we Nepali and the Tibetans are the newest immigrants in this country actually. So I think it's very important. We started to get ourselves kind of pull us together and build a community in Woodside, and now that's breaking up, and our power is getting diluted. We just recently got engaged into politics and got informed, because we struggled last 30 years not knowing the language, not knowing how to navigate this culture, how to navigate in this new country. Even buying a coffee is tough with language barrier. After all this, we made an effort so that we participate in the political process, and we were able to have one first Nepali intern here, but now that is breaking up. Yes. And it is really important for an immigrant community, especially the Himalayan community, to get informed about our local politics, and that's why I think
so you meant to say that a single community need to be a single district?
Not a single community, a single district. What she's referring to is the Voting Rights Act, which protects minorities, all minorities, right? And so what we're seeing here with the new proposed map for District 26, minorities, currently our population is in this district is 29% white. That is going to increase to 44%
in this district.
In this district.
If this redistricting happens.
If this map, as it currently is
proposed map happen,
it will increase white the white population from 29% to 44%. 44. And 44. The Hispanic population will decrease from 29% to 22%. And our Asian population will decrease from 31% to 25%. So they're really violating that very, very important principle. They're violating pretty much all their principles. They're also, they're crossing us over. One of the principles is to limit the crossover districts, and District 26 will be a crossover district. We will now have Roosevelt Island and parts of the Upper East Side. We're crossing over. So that's another violation of the principles.
But there is still equal amount of population distributed, right? Equal amount of population, but you are focusing on the community.
Adding Roosevelt Island and other parts that's really close to Manhattan and Woodside, the income level of the people are very different. Their income level is $150,000 a year, and ours is like maximum $70,000 a year, and there would be a lot of income disparity
in the same district.
In the same district, and that will continue the power, the status quo, power disbalance.
This is the problem of only District 26, or other district also facing this kind of situation in this proposed map?
Right now, we are focusing on this district because we represent 26th district, and we had made a lot of progress with the Woodside community by engaging in politics, by the progress that the elected council district council officers have made is we had a lot of like first women majority council, like we have many women. We have the first immigrant representatives, elected officials. But now if this happens, right, the power disparity will widen and becomes more, and when the richer people have more money, more capital to invest in, and we have less capital to invest in, they will kind of gain from this council.
They will dominate the power and maybe the election campaign and everything, right?
So the progress we made until now, they are taking it back.
Of course. So, and what are the other perspectives that you guys want to highlight here, so that there is equality and the power balance?
I think a major factor that we want to highlight is advancing public policy, right? As immigrants, we have different needs, and if we're talking about a group that helps the Tibetan population, right? This group, they're all here, right?
Of course.
But now they're going to be divided into different council districts. This will diminish not only their political power, but also their economic resources.
Right.
Because now they won't be able to get as many resources from the one council member. Now they're going to have to go to 4 different council people and ask for money. And as a council member representing a smaller community, you will most likely give a smaller dollar amount.
Of course.
So just the resources itself for the minority groups will definitely be reduced. And then just not being together as a community, it's going to diminish our political power.
So we say that we need to follow the fair and effective representation. So to have that fair and effective representation, it looks into the community the population number, right? So, but the population is getting divided into four.
Yes.
So the disparity is not just economics, it's education, it's infrastructure, it's at all levels.
Distributions of many kinds of sources, right?
Right.
Resources from the
So,
government or city level.
Yes. For example, I think very recently we had the community board member in Council District, Community Board 1 and Community Board 2, where we have diverse representation. We made sure that our Himalayan community, which was always marginalized, never ever seen, and we were like just made invisible in the council elected officials, I would say until 2019, right? We started making process, and we started getting our representation just very recent, and that very baby step, very little step. Now, like the community board decides a lot of things about transportation,
of course,
the buses, the trains, the education, the parent-teachers meeting,
small business as well, right?
And colleges, admission, enrollment. There are a lot of things that will impact, and in all this governing, there will be small decision-making bodies.
Right.
In all these bodies, if the council, the elected official council, is not very representative of our community, our community's voice, then we will always be further marginalized, like we always had been. We just made progress in 2019. So the disparity is not just economics, it's politics. It's
Proposed map is politically motivated?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I feel like it is in a way, because they want our minorities to be divided, right? But the commission probably, in their minds, they're trying just to divide the districts to have an equal amount of population. But at what cost? At increasing, making our minority population now the smallest minority, and increase now we're white
so that they
majority.
can be on the power for longer
Yes.
time,
So-
right? Yeah.
true.
And I mean, this district was never represented by a woman. And Councilmember Julie Wong was the first woman,
Oh,
the first
great.
minority
Great.
First immigrant.
to
Immigrant too,
represent this district. So we are seeing all these leaps, right?
Yes.
And now, is that going to change in the next cycle? Because now we have a different group of population that will have voting rights, that will vote for this district. How does that impact? Like she said,
Yes.
if our
yes.
representatives
I
do
believe
not
so.
align with us, they do not represent what we stand for. Where are we going to be?
I
as a
understand.
community?
In fact, what I came to know that it's not about the amount of population; it's about the community, right? And we don't want community to be divided into many pieces, into different districts.
Right.
So it's very important to grow a community into a single district,
Yes.
so that they will have equal amount of power, equal amount of resources, and they can enjoy their political transition to the American mainstream.
Yeah.
So, Tenzin, what is the main message you would like to deliver regarding tomorrow's hearing process,
I would say,
and why it is very important for a community to be participate?
yes, I would say we had always been marginalized, invisible. Until 2019, we started getting more informed. We
Right.
started making progress with electing first immigrant, first Asian women in this district. And this district, we had made our home, the Himalayan community. We Tibetans started resettling from Astoria, moving to Sunnyside, Woodside, right?
Right.
And same goes to Nepali community.
Of course.
Since 90s, we were together, and we're the newest immigrant together. And Woodside getting divided into multiple council district is the elected official might not, give that much significance to this district anymore, with not so much representation from
Of
this,
course.
So what will happen? Another thing is we might get pushed away, displaced again, because we were displaced from Astoria with a lot of developers coming into our neighborhood in Astoria, and same thing is happening in Woodside with a lot of rich people investing in that. We saw just on 52nd Roosevelt Avenue, so many new
I
buildings
believe
in
so,
Woodside, right? What will happen is all the rent will increase.
Yes.
Whether it's residence or whether it's business
Yes.
rent, right?
Yeah.
So
Commercial.
yeah, commercial rents.
Yeah.
So we have so many Nepali non-profits, community organizations, bars, restaurants, cafes, you name it, right? Momo
Of course,
Cafe,
more, yeah.
Momo Chai,
Yes.
Tamil,
Yeah.
Mustang community,
Yeah.
Yulmo community,
Of course.
Adhikar non-profit,
Yeah.
Magar Association,
Himalayan
GPK,
restaurant,
all these
GPK.
Himalayans. And now when the commercial rent will increase, we have to move away. And we
Yeah.
will be, right now our unity is power, and that unity is getting disintegrated. And that's not okay for us. So it's really important to be informed and participate.
Where it's going to happen, venue, time, everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
So tomorrow it will happen at the Museum of Movement Image from 5:30 to 9 p.m. So most of the people, you have time. It's evening after your working hours. So I encourage our Nepali community people and Himalayan community people to please come up. And the address is 3601 35th Avenue, Astoria, New York. And the zip code is 11106. But if you still have questions, you can ask, call our office 718-383-9566. And you can also email our office. But I would say to testify, you can email public testimony at redistricting.nyc.gov.
TV Sunday. The power of truth.